Welcome back, Elder Advisors. Don't go broke at a nursing home. We've been talking about what is a senior real estate agent. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what a senior real estate agent does. How are they different from a, I don't know, generic real estate agent? But Amanda Russo knows.
She does know.
Amanda Russo is joining us.
She's got all the answers.
Yeah, she is a senior real estate agent. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, and thank you for that lovely segue that you had, Lindsay. That was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
So what exactly is a senior real estate agent, and why might a viewer need one?
Yes. Well, let me first just introduce myself. So I am with JXM Group at Keller Williams Louisville East. And what we do there, our team does a lot of senior real estate. So we are senior real estate specialists. And what that means is we have extra training to really help our 50-plus population when they are approaching these transactions. So we look at, medical concerns, whether they are current or future, as well as financial concerns, because as Lindsay said, they may be looking for something like a nursing home or assisted living, and if they don't do these transactions correctly, they may unknowingly disqualify themselves for some services, whether down the road they need to go into a nursing home and maybe they need Medicaid, or even VA benefits. So these are very, very different transactions from your normal transaction, which is why, a senior real estate specialist is really what that population needs.
No, you articulated that well.
And,
yes.
and I think much like Amanda, there is 50 and plus and 60 and plus, and when there's a crisis or there's health concerns, there's an emotional, like we wear and we take on the emotional struggle of that, right? The adult child, I sat across from a couple this morning, a brother and sister, and mom's had a decline and she's in the nursing home, and you can just feel it. They're tired. They're tired, and it's hard. And I think having Amanda and her team with that senior, they understand that. They understand the heaviness and the, a grief is maybe like not exactly the right term, but there is a grief in, maybe a declining health, or maybe a spouse that's recently passed away, or the children are just grieving the aging of their parents. That's like a real thing. And so
it is. It's a lot. It's a very emotional transaction. So our job is to really help them kind of get through that and hopefully take away some of that stress and anxiety that they're going to experience.
This makes perfect sense. Another example of how Elder Advisors is expanding, and it does make sense because here's an obvious question here, but sometimes what if the senior loved one does not want to sell the home? You can make sure they do not have to, which is great, because that is sometimes people have a choice.
Yeah, and we do, and we maximize the rules. So with what Larry does with the financial considerations is, if anybody goes into their tax accountant and says, hey, I want to pay as many taxes as possible. All of the rules that apply to me, I don't want to use them. I just want to pay the biggest bill possible. Well, what we do is look at the Medicaid rules, the laws. There's always a legal component to it. And we say, what rules apply to you, and let's apply all of them. For a husband and a wife, and I think that's barbershop law that Larry refers to often, but certainly in a husband and wife, we are not going to turn out a husband or a wife homeless because the spouse needs placement in a nursing facility. We can protect that. There are some other instances that we can do some protecting, and sometimes, the rules just say this home has to be sold, and when or the family wants to sell the house. I'm a wife, my husband's passed away, I don't want this house anymore. I don't want this space. I want something new, or I want something smaller, and that's where Amanda can come in and help.
So Amanda, I'm curious, just to clarify where your specialty lies, I think one of them at least would be the fact that, hey, because they're seniors, you may be able to help them with what's a smart move with taxes and to make sure they're not penalized for, is that correct? Because it is different than when you hit a certain age.
It is, and we're always going to encourage them to, talk to an attorney or someone like that when they're looking at things that are that specific. But, what we do is we know enough. My background is actually in a nursing home, and so I worked in long-term care for 9 years.
Oh, great.
So and I know enough to be dangerous, but just to really make sure that they're taking the correct steps so that when those things do happen, they are in good shape.
What's great about this is we talked about how everything is different and personalized when you go to one of these workshops, and we'll talk when and where and why you should go, good information. But to me, often real estate is involved, so this is a good partnership here. You'll know when someone needs real estate help, I'm going to call Amanda. She's going to help me, right?
And what Larry's done and what Elder Advisors has done is that we don't do anything, right? I'm not a real estate agent. Larry's not a real estate agent. We're not attorneys. We're not tax.
You have an attorney,
we're not CPAs. But we've built a network of people that over the years we've vetted for integrity, for honesty, for competency, that we know, because our number one goal is to take care of the client. And if that's a real estate need, we're sending them to somebody who we know is going to take care of them. If it's a tax question, we're going to send them to somebody who we know is going to answer the phone, call them back. So that's what we've done, and that's really Amanda's kind of part of our network that we've done with that. And we talk about all of this at the workshop, and encourage anybody who just has a little question. I'm really not sure. Well, if you're asking if you think you might be eligible or maybe need to come and check it out, you need to come and check it out. So 2 options, Monday, January 9th at 10 at the Hilton Garden Inn, and then Tuesday, January 10th, 10 a.m. there in Clarksville at the Hampton Inn. So both of those, 855-LARRY55, you can call. Usually that's Suzanne that'll pick up the phone and get you booked, or you can go to freeworkshop.com. So we talk about all of this good stuff.
And Amanda, you're with Keller Williams. There are folks here, she mentioned some of your attributes, you know, honesty, integrity. You don't just handle seniors, right? If people like myself want to call you, well, wait a minute, I am a senior. Yeah. But for younger folks who say, I'm looking for a new home, or I want to buy or sell,
this is
talk to Amanda, right?
This is where we tell John Ramsey he's old. Like, you've officially no, wow. I'm kidding.
Wow, this really kind of hurt. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can.
It's one way to be. It's one thing to be self-deprecating. It's another when you guys are just going to hand me a cane and then tell me.
It might be time, John. Have you gone to a workshop? No, I'm just saying.
I like it though. But yes, they can call you, right?
Absolutely. We're happy to help anyone who is looking to buy, sell, or invest. And we come with all kinds of resources, and mostly even for the seniors, like she was saying, these kids are doing a lot of that heavy lifting, and so we want people to get us involved sooner rather than later, because they might be thinking, you know, we need to clean out the house, or, you know, it needs to fix this or paint that, and a lot of that might not actually be necessary. So getting us on board early on gives us the opportunity to really sit down, hopefully save them some money in the end, when we really look at what needs to happen in these senior real estate transactions.
How do they get a hold of you, Amanda? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way is my cell phone, and that is 502-235-5990.
Okay, there you go, Amanda Rosso. Okay.
Come to the workshop. We have all of the partners.
Talk about that.
Yeah, we have a kind of a resource wall where we have partners information and all of this stuff. We dabble, you know, in this stuff. And if you've got a question during the Q&A, of course we'll have a stack of Amanda's cards. So come out and see us on Monday, January 9th. And one thing we really haven't talked about a little bit, John, that I'll just touch on is if you think you might be 65 one day, or if you're in that early 60 to 65 and you're still working, maybe you're catching us in the lunchroom, there's a place for you at our workshops. And so we do a lot of pre-planning too, which is smart, with folks early on. So we've kind of avoided the crisis altogether. And that's to go back to my family this morning, brother and sister, very stressed, kind of the weight of the world, right? Mom's declining, she's at the nursing facility, we're trying to get the assets protected, all of that stuff is happening. And I kind of just said, well, have you guys done any estate planning, right? Have you done any estate planning for you and your spouse? And it was like, no. And I said, well, put a pin in it, right? You're drowning right now. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But, you know, you'll want to circle back with us in a couple months when all of this is put to bed so that you can make your road just a little smoother. And then we can help with that as well.
Yeah, that may be your situation, or perhaps you're right now, currently you have a senior loved one who's eating through, you know, $10,000, $12,000 a month, and you want help. They can still help you at Elder Advisors. Attend those workshops. Amanda, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Isn't she great?
Nice to meet you. She is great. And you as well, Lindsay Fleming.
Thank you.
So is Larry going to be back with us?
Larry will be with us tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yes.
Larry will be here.
Larry will be here. I know you guys miss him. And Larry. Kentuckiana. Larry still loves you, Kentuckiana.
That's right. The very entertaining.
Yes.
Larry
Check us out at freeworkshop.com, or pick up the phone and call 855-LARRY55, and we'll get you reserved for the workshop.
All right, really good information. All right, we'll take a break here, and then coming up, hopefully we'll be able to talk to Don G about what's happening on Wave Country at 2 o'clock. Thank you for joining us. We shall return.